Hey, Andrew here, and today we're going to be going through the compensation plan for OlyLife. Now, I've found footage from Amber Kalobi, who runs through it perfectly, so why bother changing it or reinventing the wheel? Sit back and enjoy Amber explaining the compensation plan, and we'll pop back just after.
Hi, my name is Amber Kalobi, and I am a two-star leader here at OlyLife, and I'm going to go over the compensation plan that they have for their distributors. So if you want to learn more about the product, you can visit OlyLifeHealing.com, but watch this presentation if you're here and you want to learn how to earn an income with OlyLife. The really cool thing about OlyLife is that they don't have any requirements to be a distributor. So if you purchase your device and you don't know if you ever want to share, just create a distributorship anyway. There are no fees, there's no penalty. It creates a secure position in the organization in case one day you do decide to share. And I'm going to go over in more detail what that looks like. So in a snapshot, there are 6 ways that you can get paid as an OlyLife distributor. You get paid a performance bonus. That would be 10% of the PV of your personal enrollment. So if I enroll somebody who purchases a Terra P90, the PV on that is $750. For my performance bonus for that day, I'm going to get paid $75. Then we have a tier pairing bonus. This is the bonus that you get paid when you pair or match with your left leg. This is unique to a binary that most of us are used to. This is a unique, but also I like this a lot better than traditional binary because this doesn't just encourage you to grow your left leg and your right leg and leave everybody in the middle weak and not being supported. This really encourages you to go into your organization and help everybody along the way. And this is a very generous part of their compensation plan. So you get paid 50% on the PV of the person that you pair. So if I bring somebody in, my second person in with a Terra P90, I'm going to get an additional $375 bonus because that one paired and matched with the person on the left. And I'm going to go into more detail later on that. Then we get a group sales bonus. This is where more of the residual aspect of the business comes into play. This is what you get paid on your smaller leg from level 4 and down. So as your team starts bringing people in and enrolling, you're going to get paid a bonus on the PV that is coming in for that day. So as a P3 leader, that's 11% bonus. As a P4, it's 12, and as a P5, it's 13. And I want to explain the difference between rank and member identification. So when you come in as a P3 leader, you are coming in with $1,000 purchase. That's your Terra P90. And you can upgrade to P4 and P5, and I'll go over that in the next couple of slides, how to do that and the benefits of that. But as your member identification changes from P3 to P4 to P5, you get paid more on the work that's being done in your organization. Then you get paid a coaching bonus. This is where generations come into play. This is different from left leg, right leg. This is generation. So a generation is somebody that I have personally enrolled. So my personal enrolled people are considered my generation 1. When those people bring somebody in, that's considered my generation 2, and so on and so forth. Then a team bonus. This is also called a coaching bonus, and this is super unique. I've never seen anything like this in network marketing. This is the bonus that you get paid on your personal enrollers' work, their tier matching bonus. And then there's a global pool bonus. The company sets aside 5% of their sales to a pool that when you're the ranks star 1 and above, you get a certain piece of that pie. And we'll go over that in more detail later. Something that's super important to note is that 20% of all the bonuses are set aside and reserved for your repurchase wallet. And you're going to see in your back office, there is an e-wallet, a bonus wallet, and repurchase wallet. That is 20% of your bonus is set aside for the repurchase wallet. And when OlyLife is officially launched, then you can use those commissions to purchase more devices or other products that OlyLife is going to launch. So they have something called the OlyLife Mall, where it's essentially like an Amazon. It's really cool because you can purchase more Terra P90s, Cell Essential ones, but you can get this MRAT quantum molecular resonator. You can get skincare products. They have nutrition supplements. They have a whole lot in their Oly Mall that you can shop through. So you could take your spending off of Amazon and just use that in there as well. So OlyLife Mall is not open here in the United States yet. So our bonuses in our repurchase wallet are just accumulating until they officially open the Oly Mall, and then we can use that to shop. Right. So 4 ways to qualify as a distributor. So when you come in with a Terra P90, that is a $1,000 purchase. That creates a P3 member ranking. That creates your distributorship. And so to create a distributorship, you just need to provide your driver's license number. When you go to checkout, you're going to see that as an option in there. I encourage everyone, create a distributorship, whether you sell or not. There's no downside to it at all. It can only benefit you because one of your legs is going to be built for you because there's people above you that are sharing. And so if you do decide to come in and share one day, then your work is already started for you and it can only benefit you. If you don't want to come in with the Terra P90, you can come in with 2 Sell Essential wands. That creates a P3 distributorship because the total purchase is over 1,000. You can mix and match the Sell Essential wand with the Bama Air ionizer. That would create a P3 distributorship. Something that's really important to note is that the Bama Air ionizer is only available at 220 watt here in the United States. So you have to purchase a converter in order to utilize that in your home. But we'll let you know when the 110 volt is available. And right now, the Pro Multi-Energy Hydrogen Water Purifier is not yet available, but when that is, that will create your P3 distributorship. Okay, so the performance bonus. This is the first of the 6 ways that you get paid that I covered in the beginning. This is 10% of the work that you've personally brought in. That's the bonus that you get paid. So if you bring in somebody with one Terra P90, it's a $750 PV. You get 10% of that. That's a $75 bonus. So in this example, I brought in 3,750 PV for that day in my personal enrollments. So my bonus for the performance is going to be an additional 375 on top of the other bonuses I'm getting paid for that day. The Cell Essential one is a 280 PV. The Bama Air Ionizer is 375. So you just can kind of calculate in your mind if you want to just try to figure out what your bonus will be, how much you brought in for that day, what the PV was, and take 10% of that. This is the tier pairing bonus. This is the bonus that a lot of people focus on in the beginning because this allows you to cover the cost of your device quicker. So we talked about the performance bonus. That's the 10% of your personal work, right? So in this example, I'm going to say I enrolled A. Your first enrollment has to always go left. I enrolled A. I get paid $700 or $75 performance bonus for that Terra P90. Then I come in and I enroll B. And that B is going to go on the right leg. And you can see that line connects them. That means B paired with A. They matched. So we're creating matches, kind of like a stair or like a ladder. So we're trying to create a ladder or railroad tracks, however you want to visualize it. But you're always looking in your organization to see where you can complete a pair. Okay, so I enrolled A, I enrolled B, I get 75 plus B gets 75 for performance and then a 375 for the matching, okay? And then I bring in A point A on level 2. I'm going to get $75 for that pair, but then I'm going to bring in A point B and then that's going to pair and match with A. So we're always looking for ways to match that pair all the way down your tree. And so when you look at this, if A on the left, the top A, if I put B point A on the right side of A is getting that tier pairing bonus. So I've helped my team get a big bonus by placing B point A there. But if you're looking at your organization, you want to see what your left leg is doing and match that all the way down. So my focus, if I want to boost my matching bonus, my focus is going to be the dark circles because A and B pair for me, A point A and A point B pair for me, and A point A and A point B pair for me. So my focus is going to be that. So you're going to build the inside of your right leg and the outside of your left leg. But A is going to focus on A. If you see A here, A is going to focus on their right leg, the inside of their right leg. This is something that's a little bit complicated and if you have to write it out and draw it to understand it a little bit better, do that. But I like this because it doesn't leave the people in the inside vulnerable and not being supported or helped. This helps to create a very solid foundation for your OlyLife distributorship. If you have any questions, you can email me at holisticstewardship@gmail.com, or you can text me. I have my contact information on the last slide of this presentation. All right, group sales bonus. This is where I said more of the residual aspect of your business is going to come into play. This is not a bonus that's dependent on your personal enrollments. This is the bonus that you get paid on your team's work. And so the group sales bonus comes into play with your smaller leg, level 4 and below. Okay. And so earlier I talked about the difference between P3, P4, and P5. This is not a rank, but this is member identification or distributor identification. So when you come in with your Terra P90 with 1,000 purchase, that's your own, that's the Terra P90, you're a P3 leader. That enables you to get 11% of the sales that were brought in from level 4 and below on your smaller leg. That comes out to $82.50 for every person that is enrolled that day on your smaller leg, level 4 and below. So how do you go from P3 to P4? This would be another Terra P90 purchased through your personal account. That could be your own personal purchase. You can use your second one to rent out, to loan, to gift to somebody. But if you have someone who says, hey, I want a Terra P90, but I don't want to be a distributor, they just want to be a customer, so they're not going to provide their driver's license number, you can put that through as your own order, just create the shipping information for them. This would be a $2,000 purchase from your account and take you from a P3 leader to a P4. So the difference in what you would earn for your group sales bonus goes from $82.50 to $90. So you get 12% of the work, or 12% of the PV on your smaller leg from level 4 and below. And the same with P5. So at P5, that's 6,000 purchased from your personal account. So that's your own personal order. Maybe you wanted to get 2 Cell Essential wands. And then you had 4 people who just wanted to be customers. The way that you do this is you go into your back office and you do a member rank accumulation upgrade. And I'll have more videos on how to do that, walk you step by step to explain that process. But that allows you to go from P3 to P4 to P5. And this helps you to maximize the compensation plan. And this is something that comes into play more as your team is enrolling and growing. And this isn't just you bringing everyone in. All right, this is the coaching bonus. This is where we talk about generations versus a left leg and a right leg. So as I explained earlier, generation 1 would be my personal enrolled distributors. I get paid 10% on my personal first generation. When those people bring people in, they're considered my second generation. I'll get 5%. And this is where you can see that as your team is growing, this is where the residual aspect, the snowball effect, comes into play in your bonuses and in your commissions. All right, and so this further emphasizes the benefit of going from P3 to P4 to P5. So as a P3 leader, you'll get 10% on your first generation. That's your personally enrolled distributors. You'll get 5% on your second generation. It's my personally enrolled distributors, their personal enrollments. And so as a P3, you only go down generation 3. But when you go all the way to P5, you can earn all the way down to generation 6. All right, this is something that is super unique to the OlyLife compensation plan. I've never seen anywhere else. So this is a team bonus. It's also called a coaching bonus. And this is 10% of the pairing bonus earned by your upline. It's paid out to you. And so the way that this works is I have gotten a tier pairing bonus for the day, right? 10% of what I earn for my tier pairing bonus is set aside for my team bonus. And so my personal enrolled distributors get a portion of that. So if I enrolled A and I enrolled B, whatever I got for the tier pairing bonus for that day, A is going to get 5% of that and B is going to get 5% of that. So in this example, if I just got a $375 tier pairing bonus for that day, then A is going to get an additional 18.75 and B is going to get an additional 18.75 in their bonus wallet. This is a global pool bonus that I talked about earlier. This is what OlyLife sets aside for their star 1 and above leaders. And so their annual performance for the year, they take 5% of what they've earned that year and they put it in a pool, a global pool. And whatever rank you are by the end of November, that's how many slices of that pie you get. So as a 1-star leader, you're going to get 1 slice of that pie. And to qualify as a 1-star leader, you need 10,000 in PV in your smaller leg. The really cool thing about OlyLife is that their volume only accumulates. It never washes out and you have to start over like in most network marketing companies. And so that's super nice because it allows you to grow and not be rushing at the end of the month, not pushing people for sales. It's a very organic way to grow, but it also allows you to have a huge bonus that's paid out in January. So again, whatever rank you are by the end of November, that's how many shares of the global pool bonus you'll get paid in January. So for a 1-star leader, you need 10,000 volume in your smaller leg. 2-star leader, you need 100,000 PV in your smaller leg. You need to have directly sponsored 2 distributors. For a 3-star leader, you need 500,000 PV in your smaller leg, and you need to have enrolled 3 sponsors yourself. And then as a 4-star leader, your smaller leg needs to have a million in PV and then 100,000 in your small group. So there's a difference between smaller leg and small group volume. And this goes all the way down to Royal Crown Presidential. And as you can see from the graph over here, Crown Presidential and Royal Crown Presidential, they get a lot more pieces of the pie. So I think that this is a really nice way that OlyLife pays their distributors who are really working hard and growing their organization. And this is just, you know, the cherry on top of the cake at the end of the year. Okay, so in summary, in 1 day's work, we're going to cover only 3 of the bonuses. And your bonuses are paid out daily. So when you are registering your customers, whoever is put in by 10 a.m., you're going to see that bonus show up that night. But if you are registering your customers and it's after 10 a.m., then you're going to see those bonuses show up the next day because our 10 a.m. is their 10 p.m. So we're 14 hours behind. Okay, so in summary, in 1 day, if I personally enrolled 3 people for my performance bonus, again, that's 10% of the PV, I'm going to get $225. 2 of those 3 qualify as a pair. So that means they've matched with somebody on the left, right? So I'm like working on my staircase here, or my ladder, or my railroad, however you want to understand it better. So 2 of those 3 qualify for a tier matching bonus or pair. Then I'm going to get an additional $750 on top of the $225 for the performance bonus. And then the group sales bonus, say my team in my lesser leg, level 4 and below, they brought in 10 distributors with Terra P90s. So as a P3 leader, I'm going to get an additional $825. As a P4, that goes up to $900. Remember, we go from 11%, 12% to 13%. And as a P5, it's a $975 bonus. So in 1 day, as a P3 leader, I brought in $1,800. If I was a P5, that goes from $1,800 to $1,950. It's quite significant. So upgrading from P3 to P5 as your team is starting to grow and they're bringing in people and the ball is really rolling, you can definitely see the significance in just 1 day in bonus payout. Okay, so what is required to be a distributor? I covered this a little bit earlier, but literally nothing. Literally nothing. There's no startup costs. You just purchase your Terra P90 and you have a position in the organization. Your account is active for life. You don't have to pay anything monthly. You don't have to have a quota of how many people you need to enroll. It's there. And so I think there's literally no downside to creating a distributorship. It can only benefit you. So say you purchase your Terra P90 and you're using it and you're loving it. You created a position in the tree, but you aren't sharing. But there's people above you who are sharing and they are enrolling. So they're starting to bring people in. And so say 2 months in, you decide you want to start sharing. In order to binary qualify you, like I covered earlier, you need to have your first enrollment go on your left. But say you're here, okay? Your upline has been stacking people and bringing people in. So now your left leg is 10 people deep. Your first enrollment has to go here. You'll get 75 for the performance bonus. But now the next 10 people that you enroll, you just pair them with a person on the left. you're going to get 75 plus 375 for every one of those people that pairs with somebody over here. You didn't need to personally enroll this person, but if you bring in the person that pairs with them, then you get that pairing bonus. So this is what we're doing. We're trying to create this little railroad track to create those pairs to maximize your bonus payout.
How cool is that? Now, I guess the only question is, when will you get started? All you need to do is pop down below. If you want to ask questions, just basically ask them, connect with me on Facebook or Messenger. And if you're ready to get started, jump on the Calendly link, book a time, and we'll sit down one-on-one on a Zoom call and we'll get you set up and off and running and give you, tap you into all the systems and coaching and all that. So be awesome. Andrew out. We'll see you on the inside.